on this album, we've been talking about a lot of issues, you know what I'm saying? Issues. But the root to all these issues, bottom line, is sin. It's sin. So on this track, we're gonna deal with that. Now in verse number 1, I'm gonna explain what sin is, what it is. Verse number 2, I'm gonna tell you what sin do, what it do. And verse number 3, I'm gonna explain how to be dying to sin, how to defeat it. Let's go. Sin, for instance, is this. It's deception, deceiving, kind of like the culture.
Since I was raised in Imperial Courts, and even the time of being in Los Angeles, that I've ever been in the Nickerson Gardens. And I used to live right over the hill here and went to school and grew up here until I was 16 years old. But this was a no place for me not to go. So I guess that's the same mentality that Bloods and Crips have, as far as not being able to go on certain avenues because one is red and one is blue. So now I'm kind of seeing that same aspect, because I would not dare be, at the time we didn't have cars, so. But you know, remember we was kids, so you know, you just didn't walk up in here and everybody knew who you was and what set you was from because of the schools that you went to. So if you know, they like that, he's from Imperial Courts, everybody knew where your projects was from. So if they saw you up in here, you know, you was fair meat. And then you didn't get shot or killed or stabbed, but you did get jumped on and get your butt whooped. And so this was one of the projects that was the strongest out of all the projects, and it was called this right here. It's the Nickerson Gardens. So this was a first for me, and actually it finally took my fear away of coming to the famous Nickerson Gardens. And I have never ever been, now I still won't come up in here at night, and I still won't walk through here. I still won't walk through here. Last night I was rich and had 3 bodyguards. Here, he lives over here. And my brother is Marlo, and most everybody over here, they claim the blood set. So a lot of these, the people that are here, they do a lot of work. And that's my baby brother. That's my baby brother. So control everything.
Put my boy on there, and my Hispanic boy, he can't go on there like that. His people gonna be.
Okay, so well, see, my brother tell you that. So,
well, bro, these people can't let him go on there.
Now you understand. So he'll cut. Well, this is my brother Marlo, and this is Ray J Marlo, and Marlo is like a general around here with the blood gangs. He tell you all the set. He grew up here as a little boy, and those are all his friends, and so. Whatever you want to ask him, you can just kind of talk to him. He'll tell you everything about this neighborhood. And you can be real, Marlo. You can talk where you want to.
Okay. How you doing, Marlo? Yeah, how's it going? I was wondering if you could just tell me a little about just your background. You know, how'd you come to this point to where you are, I guess, the general of this area?
You know, I grew up in this area. You know what I'm saying, though? This ain't nothing that you know you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You live for this, though. You bred for it. You don't just wake up overnight and just say, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. This is just something that, you know, just like you get up and learn how to walk. You know what I'm saying? You bred this, though. It ain't for everybody, though. You know what I'm saying? Some people make it bad for the rest of us, though, you know? A lot of gang members get the wrong misconception with people, though, you know what I'm saying? We civilized people just like everybody else. You know, we got families. We love our kids. We try to take care of kids the best way we can, and all kind of things, you know. Me, myself, you know, I grew up, you know, to be a football star when I was a kid, though, you know what I mean? But, you know, my friends strayed me another way, not just by their choice, but my choice, too, you know? Like me, I had the same friends 40 years, though, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna trade my friends in for nothing, though, you know? You know, God make the choices for us, not us, though, you know? So the road you take down, that's you, though, you know? But I'm from Westside BPS, though, you know, but this the 20s, though, you know what I'm saying? My neighborhood is like on the other side of the tracks, though, but it's like the same thing, because we surround everything, all the bloods. My neighborhood is like the biggest blood set around here. So, you know, you might see a dude from my neighborhood in every neighborhood, you know, in the 20s, in the Fruit Towns, Chongo, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the city. The city mean, you know, houses, you know. You got two kind of Blackstones. You got the jungles and you got the cities. I'm from the city though, you know.
What about Nickerson Gardens? We were just down there yesterday. Are you guys
see, that's
together
the
with them?
Yeah, all Bloods get along. It's just a separation between the east side and the west side. Mm-hmm. You know, that's east side, we the west side though, you know. Mm-hmm. But you know, the Blood is different from though, because you can come over here and go over there and live and have no problems though, you know what I'm saying? Because all Bloods get along because we very surely outnumbered. Mike, don't get caught up with that.
Man, we're here at Nickerson Gardens in Watts, in California. About to go do a reach out, youth reach out, or whatever you want to call it. We're definitely gonna be doing some ministering, just touching the people and meeting them where they're at. You know, it's what it's about, being out here in the streets and getting the dirty work done that nobody wants to do. We're not in the office, we're here live and we're touching people. So I'm here with Thug Exposed, and great organization, great for, you know, awesome man, and you know, a couple of his partners. So
thank you. Hey, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about your history, a little bit about your background?
Man, you know, here in Nickerson Gardens, a lot of these cats in here, most of it, all of them are Bloods. I grew up as a former Blood. My hood was in South Central, so I grew up in that environment, you know, and chasing the dollar and chasing that hood life, and it found me in prison, and I was facing 16 to life for 6 armed robberies and a possible attempted murder. And you know, I did my bid and I did my time, and I was supposed to serve. That's what they gave me, was 16 to life. I was at Chino State Prison. I ended up serving a 10-month sentence, and they called me back, and I found out that I got a letter written on my behalf from the assistant warden from Chino State Prison, and they let me go that day. So now I'm a free man. You know, I'm going back into the same hood that you know, had an influence on me. I'm going back to my older brothers who are still in that gang life, for, you know, Bloods themselves, and just trying to make it count. So. Man, one of the biggest mistakes that people understand is they don't listen to the music that they put inside their earphones. Nowadays, everything that they see on TV is not really what it's like. The reality behind this music that we listen to, the reality behind the things that are riding on these beats, if you actually heard the truth of it, would actually scare you to death. There's so many industry people out there who claim to run with the Illuminati and the occultic practices and satanic practices, and what they do is they dedicate their lives to serving Satan. And in return, Satan says, I will give you wealth, I will give you riches, and when you die you won't go to heaven, but you rule here on earth with me. The biggest misconception that they have, they feel that Lucifer or Satan was wrongfully accused, and so now what they're doing is they're dedicating their life to gain back for him what was lost. And so what they do is they take a lot of their music and they implement cults and backwards masking and things like that, and when they finish their copies, they take it up to the higher room. And in the higher room there are 13 witches that stand around a pentagram. And when they stand around these pentagrams, in the middle of it, before the CD was even distributed or copied, they place spells and demonic spirits they cast over every single track and every line, so that these curses that they want to be put on people can be put on them. And now we listen to this and we buy these CDs and we wonder why we want to smoke weed when we hear this, or we want to fight somebody when we hear that, or you want to go to the club and become promiscuous. It's all part of the demonic spirits that are riding on the beat. A lot of us say we just listen to it, but you need to understand what's riding on the beat.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, man, my background, if I went back into that, it's crazy, but I used to be a former Blood. My hood was out there in South Central, hanging out with the wrong crowd. I ended up doing 6 armed robberies and almost a possible attempted murder I got locked up for. The sentence that they gave me was 16 to life. They sent me to Chino State Prison, and on a 16 to life term, I served 10 months and they let me go. I don't know how, by the grace of God it had to be. But now I'm out there and I'm doing work for the Lord. I'm a pastor, youth pastor, reaching these youngsters and trying to let them know that God will pick you up where you're at, and where you are is greater than who you are, because who you are, I mean, it's just temporary. And so that's one of the best things that I tell people is that you gotta understand this. It's where you're at right now doesn't mean it's the end result. What you go through doesn't mean it's the end result. It's how you look at it and change your perspective and your outcome that'll bring the change in your life.
Now, Jeff, you were a star athlete in high school.
Right.
Correct? Tell me about that.
I was
How did you get away from that into the life of crime?
My two older brothers were Bloods as well, and so they got in that lifestyle, and so I followed them, and I became that. But I was still focused on sports, and I was a wide receiver, all-star wide receiver. I was in high school and one of the top receivers, and had scholarships to go to college, but I chose the life of the streets. I chose the gangbang, and in return, I lost everything that I had. It goes to show you that you don't have to have that type of lifestyle or that background to get destructive. And my brothers were living that life. We grew up in poverty, and so I saw them with the cars, I saw them with the ice, I saw them with the ladies, and I wanted those things. And for me, how to get those were the gangbang. And so that's how I started walking in that. I started off as an affiliate, as a young buck, and then when I realized it, I was full-fledged in it.
Well, tell me about anything about the gang validation, and like I said, we have a program where we try to prevent a lot of these youth from getting gang validated. What do you have to say to a youth that's hanging around that lifestyle?
Man, I've been locked up. I was on a level 4 yard. My cellie had 7 life sentences. All my homeboys who were from my hood, who I thought were going to back me up, they were nowhere to be found when I was locked up. Now it's an amazing thing that when you're in the hood and you live in that lifestyle, the guys who used to run with and you were willing to give your life up for, they're now snitching on you, and it's no longer called snitching, it's called keeping it real. And so now I realized that when I was locked up, faced with 6 years of life, nobody could save me. Nobody could talk to me. Nobody could reach me. And the only one who had my back were the people who were actually living for God. And I started realizing that is that I'm wasting my whole life banging for some color or some city on government ground that's not even mine. And so when I die, I'm going to end up leaving my son or my daughter with what? No legacy of nothing. Why? For some simple color. And so if you're really going to gangbang, you got to understand that this life either leads you in 2 places, that's dead or in prison. And I was in prison, luckily. I got a lot of my homeboys who didn't even get to see that or have that option. And so now, if you want to live this lifestyle, you got to understand that there ain't nothing nice about it. There's nothing you can glorify. I've had fast money. I had stacks of cash. I had the cars. I had the women. I had it all. But in the end, we got a saying out there on the streets, they say fast money's like gas money, and it goes just like that. And so if you really want to think about it, when you die, you get shot, they're going to put your name and your face on a t-shirt. And when they put your face on that t-shirt, it's going to say rest in peace, and it's going to have your hood name. But when they wash that shirt a couple of times, that picture's going to fade along with your memory. So then you ask yourself this question, is it really worth it? When you're going through it and you're looking at it, when you face with 16 of life and you locked in that bars, is your hood really worth that? You dying for some government grant that don't even pay your family? Your mom doesn't get a check from you dying, your brothers don't get a check. If you have sons and daughters, they don't get nothing for it, so it's in vain. You don't even own it, you can't even take it with you when you die. If you're gonna bank money and you're gonna try to bank that money and make it money that's gonna last so that your children's children are gonna be able to eat. Get into lucrative operations and companies, start your own company so that you can make that money when the police pull you over, you can keep it instead of taking it and you end up having nothing. I've seen homeboys who've risen from the top and fallen just that hard and lost everything, lost their mind. Now they're pushing baskets, they're homeless. Is it worth it?
Just thank you so much. There's no name above your name. I wouldn't serve any other name. Yeah, sure, Mashiach.
There's power in the name. There's victory in the name. There's healing in the name.
Healing.
Anointing in the name.
Yes.
There is peace in the name. If you would speak aloud the name, that every knee shall bow before.
Every knee.
Every tongue proclaim. There's power in the name.
Power.
There's victory in the name. There's healing in the name.
So much healing.
Anointing in the name.
Yes.
There's peace in the name.
Peace.
If you would speak aloud the name, every knee shall bow.
Every knee.
Every tongue proclaim. Yeshua, Mashiach, Jesus Christ,
Jesus.
Redeemer.
bless your name.
Yeshua.
Yeshua. We bless your name. Power. So much.
There's victory in the name. There's healing in the name of God. Anointing in the name. There is peace in
His name.
If you would speak aloud the name.
Say it loud.
Every knee shall bow.
Every knee shall bow. Every tongue. Yeshua. Jesus.
My Redeemer.
Your name. It's above all names. Shout it. Every nation.
Rock of salvation. Yeshua. We bless your
We bless your name. We bless your name. Lord, you're so good. You are everything, God.